So, what's it like living and potentially dying with cancer and being Catholic? Well, it's potentially a little different than if you were not Catholic, especially if you're not a Christian at all. I don't know how people would do it having no faith. And I understand why people who have come through cancer treatments and cancer and all that, then they do have faith because you can't get through it without God. Let me tell you that. I don't know how people can do it. For me personally, as a Catholic, Catholics, if you're practicing your faith, and if you're not, now's the time to start to really get into and with the internet at our fingertips, literally, there's no excuse anymore to not know what to do or to not know where to find the information. Just put it in there. Google, hello, get Hallow. But definitely Google has so much great information on how to deal with suffering as a Catholic. You can look that up. You can look up How to Get Through Dark Night of the Soul, written by St. John of the Cross. How to offer up your suffering, how to suffer well. There's so much information. Catholics have literally cornered the market on suffering. And that's what we're known for. And you know what? A lot of my Protestant friends who really don't understand Catholicism at all look down at us for embracing suffering because they don't understand what they're talking about. They're just into, name it and claim it and prosperity gospel. And while, yes, half of me is naming it and claiming it, if that's God's will, the other part of me is, and I am going to suffer well, and I'm going to make use of my suffering, and it's going to mean something in the meantime. So I'm not really worried about name it and claim it. That's I feel like for God to do for me. Like, yes, I'm praying for full restoration of my body from cancer. I have friends and family all over the world praying for me. I created the Miraculous Mysteries devotion that people are buying and using and praying, and I'm praying it every day live, and I'm having a couple hundred people every night say it with me, which is amazing. And I'm trying to evangelize through that and showing these people and myself what it is to suffer well. What does that mean? What does it look like? It's not denial. It's not, everything's great, everything's so perfect, I love it, oh my God, name it and claim it, woohoo! And it's not that. It is, I have a chance of survival is between 3 and 10% right now for me. And come Easter of 2025, in the end of this month, it's now the beginning of April 1st, then I'll have a better idea of which direction I'm going in based on test results. And I'm okay with either way. If I die, I'm so ready to see Jesus. I'll either spend more time with my friends and family or more time with Jesus. And I am totally ready for both. I am totally at peace with both. And most people can understand, oh, yay, I'm going to live and that's great. Let's focus on the, oh, crap, I'm going to die. Now what? And how do I live through dying? I guess that's what I'm doing. I'm living through dying. And so I am offering up my suffering, all the pain that I'm going through. All I'm thinking of is trying to, and I still cry like all the time, all day long. I'm not like, woo, great, I'm going to die. But I'm offering it for my sister's salvation. And I'm visualizing my sister walking into Mass loving Jesus. I'm visualizing my sister in adoration. I'm visualizing my sister who, by the way, wears a miraculous medal and a St. Anthony medal because she loves St. Anthony and still prays to St. Anthony. Go figure, right? So there's hope, right? There's definitely hope. And she asked for a Padre Pio one. So I don't know. So Padre Pio was working behind the scenes. And that is just making me so happy. And if I die, I'm not sure how she's going to understand what my death is. When I get closer to death, if that takes that turn, I'm going to have the talk with her, the literal come to Jesus talk. And that just because I might be dying doesn't mean that God doesn't love me or he's punishing me. This is a little bit of an answered prayer for me to be able to do more work to spread the gospel on the other side than here. And It's okay. It's okay. This world, and my sister knows this and believes this. We actually are kind of on the same page. It's bizarro, even though she like hates the Catholic Church and all of this stuff. Um, we both know and are of the firm belief that the earth is part of the devil's playground. He does have power here. He does have um, power and control in many ways here. Not ultimate, we know that, but we get, it's like a ping pong. We get tapped around like in a cat and mouse game, and between, sometimes it feels like that between God and Satan, having fun with us. But we both know, and we know as Catholics, that we are not made for this world. That's why I've hated this world. I haven't enjoyed living, shall we say that? And that's just being very honest. I haven't enjoyed living. I try to be that kind of Christian that says, "Oh, every flower is made by God, and just breathing is great." And yes, I get it. I get it. It's all wonderful. God made it all. But I've suffered a lot on this planet, and I see a lot of suffering on this planet, and I know that this planet is the devil's playground. Let's just put it like that. And many times, as every year goes by, it looks like, well, the devil might be winning, although we know he's not. It feels like it a lot of times. And so her and I, ironically, are on the same page as, yeah, I'm done with this. Been there, done that. Got the t-shirt. I'm over it, ready to go. Now that it's put in my face, I really want to use this suffering for her salvation. And I think if I live, it will be better maybe for her, more faith in God, and to watch me suffer well is another thing. I'm trying to suffer well, and I feel like I am, because I don't really care about the outcome. I'm very detached from the outcome, and that's something to really think about. Be detached from the outcome. Either way, like I said, either way, it's a win-win for me. I spend more time with Jesus, more time with my family and friends. I'm okay. It'd probably be a lot harder if I had children. I admit that. But at the same point, we still have to have the same concept, either more time with Jesus or more time with my family. And if you discuss this concept and suffering well, and that we are all going to have to carry a cross, none of us escape. Death, taxes, and suffering. Like, hello, that's living. Ain't that great? So when you have these hard conversations or real conversations with your family and your loved ones, and if you have children, you have children, you have to put it in certain terms. Then you're like, yeah, as adults, we all get it. Like, there's just so much ugly stuff in the world. So suffering well is such a great way to evangelize. And I created this Miraculous Mysteries devotion. I talk about it all the time because might not have much more time to talk about it, but like a year ago I created it, and I just launched it in this January when I got my diagnosis. And so many people have come back to praying. So many people have said, "Oh, I went into the church and prayed for you," on different continents because of this. So I am using this to spread the gospel. When you have cancer, you can talk about your faith in ways that you never could with people before, because they wouldn't listen or they would argue with you. Well, no one's going to argue with me right now if they're smart. Very few people argued before, but now they really aren't gonna. So when you're suffering, take this time to really talk about your faith and how it's getting you through every day, because people will have to listen. They're not going to push back the way they might have before. And so they'll be forced to reconsider things they might not have. Or when it's so close in your face, they will be forced to reconsider and to think about God and Christ and the story of Jesus and faith and their own mortality. We can all say we think about it, but when you're really faced with it and you have to start, putting out all of my passwords for all of my social media and my bank account and this and moving money. And when you start doing that, so that if I poof disappear, everybody, my husband has access to everything, like, and they all know what to do and where I'm getting buried and this, like, that's like real talk. So when they start hearing those things that you are going through, it's going to make them think about their own and hopefully make them consider Christ and suffering well, and how Catholics really, we really need to be leading the world in suffering well and learning to suffer and offering it up to God. And what are we offering it up for? And you don't have to be dying to start doing this. Start doing it with all of your daily sufferings, the things that really make you question or just really bother you. Try that and see how it works.